Hello there. Welcome to My Mexican Life and Wife. My name is Ray, filming from Edmonton, Alberta. It's actually a warmer day today at hovering around minus what I think 8 degrees Celsius was the high today. So it's a lot better than what it was yesterday at minus 24. And yeah, so I just wanted to welcome you to our channel, start our channel, and talk about what our channel will bring in the future. Talk a little bit about the past, uh, how both Rebecca and I. Rebecca is currently at her job, and so she says hola, but you know at another date we'll have Rebecca on, okay, and talk about her story. How we met, because Rebecca is a Mexican citizen from Mexico, born in Mexico City. She moved with her family to Santiago de Querétaro, and that's where I met Rebecca. And of course, myself, I am a Canadian. I born in British Columbia, Lower Mainland, moved to Edmonton. So basically, Edmonton's been my home for many years. I have 4 children, 4 boys from a previous marriage, and they're all adults now, so they can take care of themselves, and I love them to death. And I also have a granddaughter who's just the sweetest thing. My Rebecca has no children, and she was previously married as well before. Currently, as an occupation, I am a registered nurse here in Alberta. I do look in the next year and a bit, as I will be um, semi-retiring, looking at you know probably late spring, early summer 2026 as retiring from 30 years of being a registered nurse. Rebecca, her occupation in Santiago de Querétaro, she was an English teacher at a school, elementary. And in Edmonton, it's been a little bit more of a harder path in regards to trying to find some work, but she has been able to find some work. She got a job through, she volunteered with the Mexican Society. We have what is called the Heritage Festival here. So she worked the Heritage Festival with the Mexican Society, volunteered her time, and met an employee at a local La Tienda, Latin store here. And so Rebecca was able to get some part-time work through them, and it's been very good ever since. So she's pretty happy there. Now, with with me retiring, we're thinking about the future, and I don't know if currently if Edmonton is in the future. I can see myself looking at maybe going to live with Rebecca in Mexico for a while or permanent. It's hard to say. Of course, visiting Mexico as a tourist as opposed to actually being, a resident there, two totally different things. I believe I can adjust well to being a resident there, um, as I've gone and ventured out into more central Mexico, which is not the touristy cities or locations in Mexico. And I love the Mexican culture, the food, and the people, of course. And so I see that being part of our future. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube and learning about other ciudades in Mexico, and the process of getting visas. And so I've been studying this for a while now. I've actually, prior to going to meet Rebecca back in 2019, November, I was actually taking Spanish classes through the Faculty of Extension at the University of Alberta. And I really enjoyed it. And so, and watching YouTube and learning and actually, watching kid videos to learn simple Spanish made it because it was easier to because they go slow. It was easier for me to understand and repeat several times. So I do have good comprehension when people are speaking Spanish, if they're speaking slow, right? Because of course, once they hear that you're able to speak a little bit of Spanish, you know, you need to tell them to go slow and precise, because of course they have the masculine and feminine, and I'm not, and I can hear words and I can make out what they're saying. And I can respond, but unfortunately, I can only respond in present. The past and the future tense, I still need a lot of work. So, but I'm willing, and so that's half the battle, right? So, but this is going to be a story about, Rebecca and I, how we met, and just to give a little detail, we met online. Back in 2019, there was after, I was just tired of all the websites here and, accessed in Edmonton. I wanted to try something different with a little different flavor, such as International Cupid. So because I love the Mexican culture and been to Mexico a few times, I really like the people. So I wanted to try that. So I made the filter Mexico and a couple other Spanish-speaking countries, and I met Rebecca on that website, and so we communicated back and forth on the website, and then we went to, and I didn't even know this existed, and I don't know how, because of all these cell phone monopolies we have in Canada that charges an arm and a leg for everything. This WhatsApp is just like fantastic. I was like, what? Where you can speak to somebody if you just are able to have Wi-Fi? This was fantastic. And all of Mexico seems to communicate on this WhatsApp, and I'm like, I'm with you. Hey, let's sign me up. So yeah, so I got on WhatsApp, and so we communicated for quite a few months, and then I made the plunge, and so I went down to what's called Santiago de Querétaro, is a city in Querétaro, which is the state. Never heard of it myself. Had to do a lot of research and look everything up, and watch a lot of YouTube about it. So yeah, so I left November 11th, 2019, went down to Santiago de Querétaro. I went via Edmonton, Houston, and Santiago de Querétaro. The connection in Houston was 6 hours, so I just, hung out and, studied some Spanish. And then, our initial landing and everything like that. Of course, you have to fill out some of these immigration papers, how long you're staying, where you're staying. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know where I'm staying. I have an idea, but I wasn't really sure the exact address. So, of course, I'm texting Rebecca as I'm in the lineup, filling out this form. And so I did get the address in El Marqués, which is in, Ciudad de Querétaro. And so, yeah, so of course, you have to go through the, if you're familiar, hit the button, is it going to turn red or green? And if it turns red, then they'll look through your suitcase. If it turns green, you're on your way. So yeah, it turned green, and So then I went out into the lobby, and I'm like, okay. And then next thing you know, our eyes locked, and we and of course gave a great big hug, and it was fantastic. Just a great feeling of meeting this woman who just won my heart. Um, but yeah, so this channel is going to talk about of course our first meeting. Well, I gave you a little interlude into that, but of course I stayed there for a few days, and we ventured into another city, and just go from there and talk about. And I have lots of pictures and videos and stuff like that I want to show you, and and talk about our future, because it's been quite a windy road, and had some speed bumps, but we were able to get past them. We're together now in Edmonton, and looking at the future, what the future holds. I'm excited, and so I want to share my excitement with you folks. Okay, so hit subscribe, hit you know, like, and that'd be great. And even if you can give me, because of course this is my first hand at digital nomad, as you can probably tell. I don't have a lot of filters. I don't know how to edit too well. So if you can even say a few things about that, that'd be great. And all the best to you. Have a great week. And hasta luego.